Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over how to draw a rectangle. So this function's pretty straightforward and basic, and there's a few tips and tricks that can help you to get it done a little bit quicker and faster. But let's get into it. Alright, so let's get started drawing our rectangle. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the upper left hand corner in the draw box underneath the home tab, and right here is this little icon that's got a rectangle. Now next to it there's a drop down box, and you can either choose rectangle or polygon, but we're going to stay with the rectangle for today. Click on the rectangle, and now our crosshair drops down. So first thing we're going to do is left hand click, and right here you can kind of see that it'll allow me to take this rectangle and drag it out at any length or width. So let's just, for example's sake, let's left hand click there, and obviously there you go, you made your rectangle. But we obviously want to add a little bit more precision to that, so let's give it some actual dimensions. So we're going to come back up, our rectangle, and then come back down, and we're going to left click, and we're going to bring this rectangle out. Now, as you can see, we're at about 135 feet, but I want to add an actual dimension of 150 feet to this. So what I'm going to do is in that blue box, it's already highlighted, I'm going to type 150 with the apostrophe. Then I'm not going to click enter just yet because I want to adjust the width as well. So instead of enter, you're going to want to click tab on your keyboard, and that's going to tab you over to the width dimension. So right there, let's put it at, let's say 90. Now that you have the width dimension, you can press enter, and there you go. You have your rectangle that is 150 by 90. Okay, so now we've gone over how to create a rectangle. The next thing I want to show you is a couple different options you have right before you're about to create the rectangle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to the rectangle again, left click to bring the rectangle down, and we have our crosshair. So right here, we're going to specify our first point by left clicking, and then right here you can see it says specify other corner point or, and then it'll show you a little symbol for a down arrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to click that down arrow. And as you can see, it's giving you three options now. So it's giving you area, dimensions, and rotation. So all three, you can move this little black dot, and that is with the up and down arrows, but all three are options before you create your rectangle. So you can either use the up and down arrow to select, or you can use your mouse. But if you use the up and down arrow and select it, you're going to want to press the enter button. But we'll use the mouse right here to show you. So the first one is area. Now what area allows you to do is it allows you to create a specified rectangle with a specific area and one side length, either your length or width, a specific measurement. So for example, we want to use 4,000 square feet, or square inches, excuse me, because it's asking us to enter the area of a rectangle in square inches. We're going to use 4,000 square inches. Then we're going to click enter. And now it's asking us, do we want to use the length or the width as the side that we want to solidify? So either or, it really just depends on what side you want to use, but let's use the length. And we are, now that it's on there, as you can see the little black dot, we're going to click enter. And now it's asking us to specify the length. So we're just going to say the length is 12 feet. Enter. Okay, so now you can see right here, the length is 12 foot. And then you have your specified area inside. So the length is 12 foot. This side right here is going to be a little bit smaller than 12 foot, but that is what it would be. Here, we'll check it real quick. It's going to be 12 feet by about 2 feet. So it automatically fills that side in for you based on the one side you give and the internal square inches. So the next thing you can do is you have the dimensions button. So here, you just go down to dimensions, and what you're going to want to do is it's going to ask you to specify the length of your rectangle. Here, you're just going to go, we'll call it 40 foot, and then you're going to click enter, and then it's going to ask you the other side. So we'll call it 30 foot, or the length or width, enter, and it's giving us a 30 by 40. Again, basically what we did to draw the other rectangle. This time it's just a 30 by 40, and you go into that little down arrow instead. So the last and final thing you can do is we're going to go up here to rectangle again. and we're going to give the down arrow, and this last input allows you to rotate right here, this rectangle, wherever you want to. So we'll rotate it like that, and then you have, again, 35 feet, and we'll tab over to the other dimension, to 40, and there you go. You have a rectangle that's in that rotated position, 35 by 40 feet. Now, one important thing is when you rotate a rectangle, and you want to make a new rectangle, it's going to give you the rotated position. So you're going to have to change that back. We're going to down click rotation. You're going to change that back before you create new rectangles if you want them in a straight, non-rotated position. Alright, so the last thing we're going to go over is how to draw fillets and chamfers on these rectangles. So you can do this pretty easily with the command strip. And what we're going to do this is go up to the rectangle, left click, and right here it's going to ask you to specify your first corner point. Before we do that, we're going to type in for chamfer, chamfer, C-H-A-M-F-E-R, okay? You're going to click enter, and then it's going to ask how big do you want this chamfer to be. So let's just do 2 feet since that's about right for the size of rectangle we're creating. And then it's going to ask you to specify the second chamfer distance. So we're going to do 2 feet again. And now you can create your rectangle with the 2-foot chamfered edge. So right here, as you can see, it's got this chamfered edge to it. And again, we can also do this with fillets. So what we can do with fillets is, let's do this again. And again, before you even click the left side of the mouse, you're going to want to type in fillet. You're going to want to click enter on your keyboard, and then it's going to ask you for the specific radius of the fillet. So we'll do a 3-foot radius this time, enter. Now we're going to left click on the mouse, and there you go. You have a 3-foot radius fillet on all corners of your rectangle. So one important note is that just like the rotation function, you are going to have to go in and go back to a 0 radius when you do a chamfer or a fillet. Okay, so for example, we're gonna make another rectangle, and as you can see, it retains that 2 or 3-foot chamfer on it, or fillet, 3-foot fillet. So to do that, we're just gonna create another one. We're gonna type in fillet. We're gonna click enter, and then we're just gonna click 0, enter, and there you go. You're back to your original rectangle. All right, so that's gonna wrap up the video. If you like the video, please share, comment, like, subscribe to the channel. If you have a better way of doing something, please comment or leave it in the comments section. I'm always looking for better ways to do something quicker or just better in general. But past that, appreciate everyone's time and hope everyone has a great rest of their day.